And God said, "Let the water teem with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the vault of the sky." So God created the great creatures of the sea, and every living thing with which the water teems, and that moves about in it, according to their kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. And God said, "Let the land produce living creatures according to their kinds, the livestock, the creatures that move along the ground, and the wild animals, each according to its kind." And it was so. We're going to talk about the white-tailed deer today. It's one of the two main groups of deer that are endemic to North America. Endemic just means that it's originally found here. Deer are a part of a group of animals called mammals, which contain all of the common animals we're used to seeing outside. They're called mammals because they have a special gland called the mammary gland, which is a way they feed their babies. And we'll talk about that later. The white-tailed deer is a part of a smaller group of mammals called the ungulates, which is a group of animals that all have hooves, which is a part of their foot, and we will talk about that later as well. The white-tailed deer is found in temperate, which means mild, climates of North America. It is not found in the very far north where it is very cold. It originally liked to live in forests, where it was good at hiding from its predators with its brown fur. But it also adapted, it changed, to be able to survive very well in open areas, which is why we see so many deer in our neighborhood. So what do you think the white-tailed deer is known for? You guessed it, it's the white hair under its tail. When the deer is scared, it lifts this tail straight into the air and fluffs out the hair. It does this to warn other deer about danger nearby. A deer does not have feet with toes like us. It has hooves, which are special pads on their feet. There are 4 different pads on each of their feet that are made up of keratin, which is the same thing that our fingernails are made of. The white-tailed deer also has a white belly, and a white spot on the bottom of its neck, and white rings around its eyes. It's got a black nose that can be used sometimes to help determine the age of the deer. As the nose gets longer, the deer is older. White-tailed deer are herbivores, which means they typically eat only plants. Deers have special stomachs that allow them to eat things that we can't, like grass and sticks and acorns. They actually have 4 different stomachs and have to throw their food back up into their mouths 3 times before they're actually done eating it. One of their stomachs makes a lot of methane gas, which makes the deer burp. Ha, isn't that funny? They eat large amounts of food, needing around 5 pounds of food each day. And they do that by eating almost any plant they can find near the ground. They sure do love the plants that are found around the house, don't they? Male deer, also known as bucks, grow antlers on their heads, which makes them easy to tell apart from the females. Every year, the deer sheds these antlers in the winter and grows a new set that is a little bigger than the year before. The male deer is rated by how many spikes the antlers have. For example, this one is a 6-point. The healthier the buck, the more points the antlers have. Bucks use these antlers to help mark small trees to communicate to the other bucks in the area that this area is taken. So when you see a rub mark on the tree like this, that's a sign that there is a buck that has already claimed this area. Once a year, the female deer, which are called does, give birth to 1 to 3 babies, which are called fawns. These babies are born in the spring and will stay close to their mom for about the next year as they grow bigger. When born, the fawns have spots all over their fur, but as they get older, these spots disappear. The really young fawns are hidden by their mothers in thick grass or bushes as their mother goes out and finds food to eat. But once the fawns reach about a month old, they begin to follow their mother around looking for food as well. The mom deer has a special part of her body that we talked about earlier. The mammary glands are located in something called the udder, which she uses to feed the fawns. The baby fawn gets milk from their mother while they are little and can't find food for themselves. But once they begin to roam with their mother, they depend less and less on their mom for milk and start to find their own food to eat. Deer are active all year round. During the summer, they are taking care of their babies and eating a lot to prepare for the next winter. When winter comes, the food the deer eat is hard to find, so they are dependent on the extra weight they gain during the summer. The hair of the deer also changes when winter comes. The winter hair, which is called a coat, is made up of a dull gray hair that is hollow, and this hollow hair allows the deer to stay warmer in the winter. This hair replaced the thin red hair that the deer had during the summer. Imagine having to stay outside all the time. These creatures can stay warm even when the temperature is extremely cold outside, all thanks to their hair. The white-tailed deer is a very common animal to see, which makes it seem like it's a boring animal. But little secrets like having hollow winter hair to stay warm and chewing their food 4 times make the animal seem a bit more interesting. So the next time you see a deer, you will know a little bit more about them.